Hello everyone. So in the previous video, I covered part 1 of the chapter 5, that is major domains of the earth. Now in this part, I will complete this chapter. Okay, so in the previous video, I covered the first major domain, which is lithosphere, as well as we saw what are the continents, the 7 continents present on this earth. Now in this video, we will cover the rest of the domain, which is your hydrosphere, atmosphere, as well as the biosphere. So let's begin. In the previous video, there was a question which is also present in your NCERT textbook. Name the strait between India and Sri Lanka. Okay, so I told you to answer, right? So now I will tell you the answer for this question. This is the strait present here between India and Sri Lanka, and this is called as the Palk Strait. Okay. Try to understand what I am writing here. Okay, so this is it. P-A-L-K, Palk. Okay, let's begin. The second major domain for Earth is hydrosphere. Okay, so what we know about hydrosphere is it is related to water. All the oceans as well as the ponds, seas, any water body which you see around yourself comes under hydrosphere, and that's why our earth is called as blue planet. Whenever you if you go outside of earth from space, if we see our planet, it looks blue because of the amount of water present on the earth. You must know that 71% of the earth is covered with water and 29% with land. So what we come to understand here is hydrosphere consists of water in all its forms, whether it is oceans, rivers, lakes, ice, glaciers, underground water, water vapor in the atmosphere too, all comprise are all part of the hydrosphere. Now, more than 97% of Earth's water is found in the oceans, but that is too salty for human use. Okay. So we cannot use that 97%. Among the rest of the water, that is among the rest 3%, most of it is in the form of ice sheets and glaciers or underground. And a very small percentage of that is available as fresh water for us to use. Hence, despite being a blue planet with so much of water, we face shortage of water because very less amount of water is available for our use. Here you can see in this diagram here, I have taken this from your NCERT textbook itself. 97.2% is covered by oceans of the hydrosphere. Rest, here you can see from that rest of the water stored in ice sheets, glaciers or groundwater, and from that only 0.03%, which is small quantity, is fresh water which we can use for our purposes. Okay. Now we'll study about oceans, which is a part of your hydrosphere. Okay. They are all interconnected. As we saw in the previous video also, this world map, these are the 7 major continents along with the blue part, which is your hydrosphere, and this consists of 5 major oceans. Okay, we'll study those 5 major oceans here. The 5 major oceans are Pacific Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, Southern Ocean, and Arctic Ocean in order of their size in decreasing order, Pacific Ocean being the largest among all. One more thing I want to bring into your notice here is that the ocean waters, as you know, are always moving. They are basically having 3 types of chief movements, which is the waves, the tides, and ocean currents. Now let's learn something about the major oceans. First of all, we'll study about the Pacific Ocean. You can see here the Pacific Ocean. Not only here, it is here also, right? Like this, since the earth is a sphere. Okay, so you can see the Pacific Ocean. Okay, So what we see here is, as I already told you, that Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean. It is spread over around 1/3 part of the earth. And we saw in the previous video also that Mariana Trench, the deepest part of the earth, lies in the Pacific Ocean. It is almost circular in shape, as you can see here, and it is covered by these 4 major continents, which is North America, South America, Asia and Australia. Okay, so here you can see it is covered like this between these 4 major continents. Okay, so next let's see about Atlantic Ocean. So I am telling you about these oceans according to the size. Okay, so Pacific Ocean was the largest one. Now the second largest ocean is the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, here you can see the Atlantic Ocean spread over here, from here to here. So what we know about Atlantic Ocean is, it is S-shaped. I'll show you how. Like this, you can see it is S-shaped. Okay, it is flanked by North and South Americas on the western side and Europe and Africa on the eastern side. You can see here North America, South America, Europe and Africa. Okay, so the coastline of Atlantic Ocean is highly indented, and because of this irregular and indented coastline, it provides ideal location for natural harbors and ports. There is a diagram in your NCERT textbook. Here you can see this is highly indented coastline, which makes it good for natural harbors and ports, and that's why from this point of view, from the point of view of commerce, it is the busiest ocean. Okay, because of the presence of so many natural harbors and ports. Okay, next I'll tell you about the next ocean, which is your Indian Ocean. Okay, Indian Ocean is the only ocean named after a country, and it is named after which country? Our very own India. Okay, here you can see this is India, and below this, so this is surrounded by Asia, Africa, Australia, and it is almost triangular in shape. Now we will see about the next ocean, which is the Southern Ocean. Southern Ocean encircles the continent of Antarctica. Okay, here we find the Southern Ocean, and it extends northward to 60 degrees south latitudes. Okay, now the next ocean is the Arctic Ocean, which you can see here. Okay, topmost. Okay, the Arctic Ocean is located within the Arctic Circle and surrounds the North Pole. It is connected with Pacific Ocean by a narrow stretch of shallow water known as Bering Strait. I'll show you where. Here you can see North America. This part is USA. Here this orange small part you can see here. This is a part of Russia, and between Russia and USA, here you can see this narrow stretch of shallow water. This is known as Bering Strait. Okay, so this connects your Arctic Ocean and Pacific Ocean. It is bound by north coast of North America and Eurasia. Fine. These slides you can see here and go through what I said and explained just now. This is also present in your NCERT textbook. Now the third major domain of the earth is the atmosphere. The earth is surrounded by a layer of gas, which is the atmosphere, and this is very important because it is protecting us. This blanket of air is protecting us from harmful effects of sun's rays, and it has the air we breathe, the oxygen, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, all the necessary components and gases are present in this atmosphere. Okay, this extends up to a height of around 1600 kilometers over the surface of the earth, and it is divided into layers. So the atmosphere has different layers based on its composition, temperature and properties, and these layers are troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. So let's see that through a diagram. Okay, so the layer which is closest to the surface of the earth is troposphere, and as we increase the altitude, we find different layers of the atmosphere, which is troposphere first of all, then stratosphere, then mesosphere, then thermosphere, and then exosphere. So these are the various layers of your atmosphere. Basically, the atmosphere is composed of nitrogen and oxygen, nitrogen being taking 78% and oxygen taking 21%, and the other gases like CO2, argon and other comprise 1% by volume. Oxygen, you know, is very important because it is important for all the living organisms to breathe. Moreover, nitrogen helps in the growth of living organisms. Carbon dioxide, though it is present in minute amount, is very important for us as it absorbs heat radiated by the earth, thereby keeping our planet warm. Okay, so it is also essential for your growth of plants. As you know, the process of synthesis, process of photosynthesis requires your carbon dioxide. Okay, moreover, the density of atmosphere varies with height. It is maximum at the sea level and decreases rapidly as we go up. So here, density of atmosphere decreases as we go up. Similarly, your temperature also decreases as you go upwards. Okay, so you can know this because the climbers experience problems in breathing due to this decrease in the density of air. As the density of air decreases, they will have less of oxygen to breathe, and they'll face problem in breathing, and that's why they carry oxygen cylinders with them to able to breathe at high altitudes. This is it. Okay, and as you go upwards altitude wise, there will be decrease in temperature and you will feel more cold, right? So this is it. Now one more thing here is the atmosphere exerts pressure on the earth. This varies from place to place. Some areas experience high pressure and some areas low pressure. Air moves from high pressure to low pressure always, and moving air is known as wind. Now the last and most important domain with major domain of earth is biosphere. This is called as the domain of life. The biosphere is the narrow zone of contact between land, water and air. Okay, between your lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere. In this zone, that life that is unique to this planet exists. Okay, there are several species of organisms that vary in size, from small microorganisms to from bacteria to huge mammals, which live in this biosphere. Okay, and they all are linked to each other and to the biosphere for their survival. And mainly these organisms are divided into plant kingdom and animal kingdom. And all three domains, which is your lithosphere, hydrosphere as well as atmosphere, are interact with each other and affect each other in some or the other way. Fine, there is a diagram in your NCERT textbook. Here you can see atmosphere, gases, here lithosphere, land part, and hydrosphere, water part, and the place where all these three interact and it is adequate for the survival of all types of organisms is the biosphere. So this is the zone of contact between all three, and this is your domain of biosphere. Okay, so this is what we have learned here. And one more thing which is given in your book and which is important is actually the thing is that since all three domains interact with each other and affect each other, the cutting of forest for fulfilling our needs of wood or clearing land for agriculture may lead to fast removal of soil from slopes. So it damages the environment in that way. Similarly, Earth's surface may be changed due to natural calamities like earthquakes. Okay, and there could be submergence of land, as it happened in the case of a tsunami which happened a few years back, in which parts of Andaman and Nicobar Islands were submerged under water. Okay, so discharge of waste material into lakes and rivers makes the water unsuitable for human use. This also damages other forms of life. Emission from industries, thermal power plants and vehicles pollute the air. carbon dioxide is an important constituent of air, but increase in amount of carbon dioxide leads to increase in global temperature. This is termed as global warming. Okay, so what we learn here is there is a need to limit the use of resources of the earth to maintain the balance of nature between the domains of this lithosphere, atmosphere and hydrosphere. So this is an important point. Okay, so do remember it. This is it. This chapter ends here. Your chapter 5, major domains of the earth, which are your lithosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere and biosphere. So that's it for today. If you have any doubts, you can ask it in the comment section. Okay, I'll look forward to it. Thank you.